Hello and welcome to day 365 of Daily Dose of Dutch. This is actually the final one of the challenge that I took on just over a year ago. A challenge set by Michel Poulard, a fellow speaker. I met him at the PSA London, the Professional Speaking Association, the London region. More about that later. And we were talking about, sharing the stuff that we have, sharing the content that we have. And he said, Hugo, why don't you do a live stream every day for a year? And I took on that challenge. And obviously, it hasn't always been easy. If we look at any challenges that we do, there is a lot of mindset going on. People, you're asking yourself, why am I doing this? But a couple of months ago, I think it was last month, I was at a conference and I heard Professor Dr. Steve Peters speaking. He wrote The Chimp Paradox. He is a psychiatrist and he said motivation follows commitment. So motivation follows commitment. And well, it has panned out that today is Monday motivation. Motivation follows commitment. Because once we are committed to something, once we are committed to a goal, committed to a task, committed to a family, committed to a business, or committed to a challenge, then all we need to do is remind ourselves of that commitment. And then the motivation will follow. Thank you, Vicky. Much appreciated. So, what are we going to cover today? First of all, a little bit of a celebration, of course, but I also want to share with you a couple of things. Some of the learnings that I've had over the past year. Because so often in Daily Dose of Dutch, I've been speaking about review. Friday review, but also other reviews. Are we ever reviewing what we're doing? And in the past year, I've been looking back. What have I done? Well, I've read more than 25 books. I listened to over 100 podcasts. I did talks and workshops, about more than 25. I've done over 500 coaching sessions in the past year. And all these learnings, I've put that into Daily Dose of Dutch. So I want to acknowledge a few people here as well. First of all, I want to acknowledge Michel Poulard. Michel challenged me and I want to thank him because it has been an amazing journey. And it was great that we met at the PSA in London. So Michel, thanks for challenging me on this. I also want to make a shout out and acknowledge Isaiah Henkel. I've been working with him for a while now. He wrote a book, Black Hole Focus. It's a great book and I can highly recommend you read that book if you want to get drive and focus into your life. So check out Isaiah Henkel with Black Hole Focus. I also want to do a special shout out to Eurotunnel because they have given me so much content over the past year with I've traveled a lot on Eurotunnel in the past year and customer service wasn't always great. So thank you Eurotunnel for providing me so much content on customer service and customer experience. And I have to put it right, the last journey with Eurotunnel was great and I gave him a good positive shout out for that as well. So what were the learnings? Well, first of all, only when we add value to people that are listening is the only way that people are actually listening and watching our videos. So make sure that you bring value to people that are listening. But sometimes that can only be one person. And that is also what kept me going over the past year. Just that email or that comment from somebody just to thank me and to say, well, that was really timely or I really needed that at that moment in time. But the other learning that I had is also that not everyone likes it, which is fine. You can't please everyone. So don't get put down if people say, well, I don't believe in live video or I don't like you doing that. Well, that's absolutely fine. You can't please everybody. Well, another thing that you've learned is using the right equipment. And I started with an iPhone 4S to do my videos. And as you go back to earlier videos, the quality has significantly improved when I moved up to an iPhone 6S. So you don't always need to use an SLR or a big digital camera. The mobile phones nowadays have good quality. What I have invested in is a proper lapel mic, which makes sure that if you order one, it is suitable for smartphones. And I'm using a tripod. Sometimes I'm just holding the phone, but sometimes I'm using a tripod. So that's the equipment that I use. So if you are considering, if you're a speaker or a coach or a workshop facilitator, and you want to do something like this, it's not big investments. Use your smartphone, get a proper smartphone microphone, and a tripod. Thanks, Arnold, but I'll come back to that later. Then the platform. Which platform do you use? I started with Periscope, and after 50 days, Facebook Live came into existence. Yes, you hear it correctly. A year ago, Facebook Live didn't exist. And that is how quickly things go, because at the time there were also two other platforms. You had Meerkat and you had Blab. Those platforms don't even exist anymore. So it shows that in this time of rapid development, you either hop on the bandwagon now or you miss out on an opportunity. And you have to consider for yourself which platform works for you, because Periscope naturally has live stream followers, where Facebook Live obviously has people that are on Facebook and they might want to see you or they might not want to see you. So the following on Periscope tend to be higher because there's simply people tuning in on you because you're going live. And then ultimately, one of the biggest learnings that I've had is the collection of content. If you are a blogger, if you write articles, if you are a coach or a speaker and you need to create content, obviously you might sometimes sit behind your computer and you just get a writer block. It doesn't work. The words don't come out. While if you're speaking about things, it's much easier. Now, the key is obviously when you record your videos and you store them, then you have all this content. If I look back in my past 365 daily doses of Dutch, I've just gathered it all up. 30 hours of content that I've collected in the past year, which I can convert into blogs, into podcasts, into videos. All videos will be uploaded on YouTube. I do 50 at a time. The first 100 are already on YouTube. So creating of content. And ultimately, of course, there is a lot that I've learned from simply practicing it. So it is a great practice for your public speaking, for your thinking on your feet. So only for that reason I can highly recommend you doing it. So what's next? Well, I'm definitely not going to do a daily one. So if you're really into listening to Daily Dutch on a daily basis, I just recommend you go to the YouTube channel and you just check out the Daily Dose of Dutch from last year. But I will come back twice or maybe 3 times a week on Monday motivation, probably Wednesday wisdom, and on Friday review. And maybe even just in between when I've learned something that I want to share that I think other people might benefit from it. So it has been great. This has been a great experience. And I also want to shout out to some people that have been, I know, been watching me and that have been liking my videos on more or less on a daily basis. So Lillemore, Edval, Mary Griffith, Andrew Brown, Mike and Shannon Green, Michelle Greenaway, thank you so much for tuning in and listening to Daily Dose of Dutch. And thank you so much to all these others that have been listening, that have been tuning in. Thank you, Arnold. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you, David Sargent, for helping me setting up a lot of my equipment, giving me tips on things. A special shout out to Peter Bulka, my coach, the one that is driving me forward, pushing me forward and holding me accountable to deliver this and try to be consistent and try to persevere also when things don't work out very well. So this was day 365 of Daily Dose of Dutch. An amazing experience for me, but given the feedback that I've had over the past year, I'm glad that I have been able to benefit to you, that from the likes, the comments, the emails that I've received over the past year, and I added up all the views, 55,000 views in total of Daily Dose of Dutch, which if we look at these numbers is absolutely staggering. So I'm very grateful to all you watching, and well, maybe not tomorrow, but I'm looking forward seeing you in another Dose of Dutch. Thanks for watching, and I see you again soon. And if you say, well, Hugo, I would like to learn a little bit more about what you're doing, then send me an email, hugo@hugohigh.com, or follow me on Twitter or Instagram @hugohigh, and I will be delighted to connect with you. You can also go to my website if you want to book me as a speaker, whether that's on leadership or maybe even on the topic of Facebook Live. Then go to my website, hugohigh.com, hugohej.com, and connect with me. If you say, well, when's the next opportunity to hear you speak on this topic in particular? On the 10th of June, I will be speaking at the PSA in London. So if you want to hear me speak, if you want to learn more about my learnings of doing 365 consecutive daily live streams, then buy yourself a ticket. If you go to Eventbrite and you search for PSA London, on the 10th of June, I will be doing a workshop, seminar, keynote around doing all these live streams, the things that I've learned. And apart from what I've shared already, there will be so many more tips, tricks, websites and apps that I've used over the past year. So thanks for watching, and I see you again for maybe another Dose of Dutch.